Hey there, quick note before we get started. If you like content like this and would like to see us produce more, then please click on that subscribe link as we're trying to increase our subscriptions. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do another playthrough of Root and the solo Clockwork Expansion, which is basically the four main factions redeveloped as bots. And what I thought we would do is reshoot one of our videos, our first videos in this series, which is Marquise De Cat versus the Electric Eyrie bot. And the reason why I chose to redo this is because, this is, first of all, one of our more popular videos, but secondly, and most importantly, they changed the rules since the first time that we shot this, since the original shipping. And I have taped on here the revised rules, and I've also printed out, which I'll link to in the comments, but I've printed out the revised Law of Robotics rules, which have the main updates here. And we'll talk through these. Well, actually, essentially, we'll just do it right now. It used to be that you would handle each column individually first. So meaning you would recruit for the foxes, you would move for the foxes, you would battle for the foxes, then you'd recruit, move, and battle for the mice, same for the bunnies, etc. And now in this new version, you're actually recruiting for all four columns of the decree from left to right, then you're moving for all four columns, then you're battling for all four columns. So you're basically going through this for 3 times. And the reason they did this, it's a little bit unclear whether it was intentionally printed the other way upon shipping or not. But the designer of the bots actually weighed in on a BGG thread that I saw, and essentially this was the way that he intended it to be. And my understanding is that the old rules allowed for a couple scenarios where you could have a deadlock state with the Eyrie bots, where basically they just wouldn't do anything and they wouldn't function as expected. So they now have this errata. You can print it and add it to your board, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use the new bot rules and play this matchup once more so that you can see it in action. So with that, we can get started. The board is all set up. We're going to go first. I've drawn our 3 cards. We luckily did draw a wild, which we might use. I have not had much luck beating these Eyrie. They're very aggressive. So I'm going to try to push back as much as we can during this playthrough and be equally aggressive. And so let's go ahead and see what we can do. So the first thing during birdsong is we're going to place a wood at our sawmill. In terms of crafting, our workshop is in a bunny clearing, and we don't have any single bunny items that we can, or abilities that we can craft. So we will go ahead and go to daylight and our 3 actions. Now I am going to cash this in right now to do a 4th action. So I think the first thing we'll look to do is build a recruiting, let's build a sawmill here using this wood. So that's action 1, is to build a sawmill. That gets us 1 point. Action 2, I'm going to discard this fox to overwork, and put another wood out, and then I'm going to use action 3 to build a recruiting station here. So I want to be aggressive, but I don't know if I should put it in 11. I'm going to put it in 10 here. And then our fourth action, we're going to recruit. So 2 new cats. Okay. So that's our 4 actions. We do get another point for building the recruiter. And we will now go ahead and draw our card for evening. Ooh, another wild. Excellent. Okay, so that finishes our turn. We'll go ahead now and do the Eyrie. For those of you who aren't familiar with how this bot works, I'm going to walk through it in a little bit detail here for the first couple turns. So the first thing they always do is they draw a card. All of these bots don't maintain a hand, so pretty much at the beginning of every turn, you're going to reveal a card. So let's go ahead and do that. And it is a bunny. So the second thing you're going to do is look to see if there's an item that's craftable on the card. And in this case, there isn't. But their number 2 item in Birdsong is to craft the item. And if it is available, meaning it's still up here on the board, then they get to craft it for absolutely free. They don't need to have any roosts in specific locations or anything like that. And just for crafting it, they get a point. And then finally, you're going to add the order card to the associated column. So this is a bunny card. It had no item to craft, so we're just going to add it right to the bunny column. All right, and now you're going to resolve the decree. And this is where the big change is, but basically we are going to first recruit for the bunnies. And all that means is, if we look closely, we're going to recruit warriors equal to the cards in the column. So in this case, there's 1 card in this column. So we're going to recruit 1 warrior in a matching clearing with a roost. Well, at the early game, it's actually straightforward. And they only have 1 bunny clearing with a roost. So that bird goes there. And now we recruit for this wild column. Now, later on in the game, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. There's a series of tiebreakers to determine where the target clearing is. But in this case, since it's wild and we only have 1 roost, we know it's going to be in that same clearing. So I'm just going to take 2 birds and put them here. Okay? So now we move on to movement. And for movement, again, we're going to do the bunny first. It says that you're going to move from a bunny clearing that we rule with the most Eyrie warriors. So again, there's only 1 here that we're talking about. And we're going to move to an adjacent clearing with no roost. And that's important because really the entire Eyrie AI is established around the fact that they need to try and build roosts every turn. In fact, the way their turmoil works is if they can't build a roost, then they're going to go into turmoil. So they're very motivated by moving into territories with no roosts. So in this case, all 3 adjacent territories are eligible. None of them have roosts, so we need to look at the tiebreakers. And that's where this destination ties come in. And basically it says, fewest enemy pieces. Well, each of 7, 6, and 11 only have 1 enemy piece, so we need another tiebreaker. And finally, the last tiebreaker is lowest priority. And the priority refers to these numbers here, which you set up at the beginning of the game. Lowest priority is actually the highest number. So the absolute lowest priority is 12, and the absolute highest priority is 1. But of the 3 in question, the lowest priority is 11. So there, we now know they're going to move from 3 to 11. And the question is, how many are they going to move? And if we go back here, it does say that you leave warriors to exactly rule the region, the origin region, or equal to the cards in the column, whichever is highest. So in this case, it's going to be 1. We're going to leave behind 1 warrior. So they're actually going to move 8 warriors to clearing 11. So off to an aggressive start here. Now, unfortunately, they're going to move again, and they're going to spread out even further because while we did the bunny column, we now have to move for the wild bird column. And so in this case, when we're resolving ties, because there is a tie, they can move from 11 or from 3. We look closer here, and it says you're going to move from the clearing with the most Eyrie warriors. So now that's 11 that they're going to move out of, and they're going to move to either 6 or 12. And again, the 2 tiebreakers are fewest enemy pieces, which is a tie, and then lowest priority. So they're actually going to move from 11 to 12, and they're going to move all but 2 because there's 2 columns here. All right, so that is movement, and this is where they're at for the moment. And now finally we have battle. And for their battle, the first thing we're going to do is battle in a bunny territory, but there actually are no bunny territories where they have eligible battles. They only have this one bunny territory, and we're not present there. So we will skip that, and we'll battle here. And the way that we determine which of 12 or 11 we're going to battle in is by looking at the battle in such a clearing with no roost, so neither of them have roosts. Then defenseless buildings. There are no defenseless buildings in either 11 or 12. So finally, it's lowest priority. So it's going to be 12, lowest priority. And now the one other rule that you need to know here is actually this line here, which is if the column has the most cards, you deal 1 extra hit. And this column does have the most cards. It has 2 cards, so they're going to get an extra hit after we roll the die. So 1 to 0, but they actually don't even need the extra hit. So they take us out. We did not, unfortunately, do any damage because we rolled a 0. So they're all set with the battle. And now finally, they'll go ahead and build. And when you're building, they obviously have to rule the clearing, but it's the reverse. They build in highest priority with no roost where they rule. So that's actually back here. They still rule this clearing, so they're going to go ahead and build their roost right here. And that concludes their daylight phase. So for evening, they're just going to score 1 point. And that is their entire turn. Okay, so now for our next turn, we will go ahead and place out our 2 wood. And from a crafting perspective, we don't have any cards that we can craft, so we'll start our action phase. And we still now have a wild card, which I might use here. So let's see here. We know that they're probably going to be moving from here down to here because one of their higher priorities for movements or tiebreakers is to take over places with fewest enemy warriors. So the question is whether we spread our forces a little thin to come down to 4, or we give up 4, and essentially in doing so, the bottom half of this map, and instead try to fight them somewhere else, or hold our line, or maybe we can even sneak in behind here and get them here, which I think would be quite interesting. So let's use our 4 actions for sure. I'm going to discard this card. We're going to use 4 actions. The first thing we're going to do is build, and I do want to build a recruiter. I'm tempted to build them here, but that would be pretty aggressive. So I'm thinking of maybe just putting them in 2. Let's see here. Because if they come down here, they're going to cut off my wood supply to 7 and 8. So let's just go ahead and take a risk, and we'll put that there. That's going to take 2 wood, but get us 2 points in exchange. And that was our first action. Now our next action is we're going to do a recruit. So 3 new cats come out. And then our third action is we're going to do a march. And I do want to start to try and whittle them away. The question is, do I march into 12? I think that is what we're going to do, actually. So I'm going to march 2 and 2. And now we'll go ahead and do a battle here and try to whittle them away. They don't have a roost. So these guys are pretty stranded right now. Obviously, they're going to send some support from 11. But for now, let's just go ahead and do a battle. We want, ideally, a 3 and a 0. Oh, wow. All right. That was awesome. So we got 3 of theirs out and no casualties on our side. So we now rule this territory, which I think is going to make a huge difference. So that was the extent of our daylight phase. And now in evening, we get to draw 2 cards this time. So a bunny with no crafting and a fox with a potential crafting that we could use to get 2 points, which sounds good. All right, so it is their turn. They're going to draw another bunny card. It does not have any item to craft, so instead we'll just load it into the decree, and we will now run through this. So they're going to recruit 2 bunnies into their only bunny roost, and then they're going to recruit 2 wilds, and the place that they're going to recruit them to is most enemy pieces, which is going to be here. So they're going to do 2 birds here. Because there's no enemy pieces, and here they don't have a roost, so they can't recruit. All right. So now they're going to move from a bunny, which would be here, to a location that doesn't have a roost, so it's either here or here, and the first tiebreaker is fewest enemy pieces. So they're actually going to leave this recruiting station alone, and they're going to move 1 to here, because they still want to leave 2, because they have 2 cards in this column now. And then secondly, they're going to move, and this rule is wherever they have the most pieces, most warriors right here, we're going to move from here to a location that doesn't have a roost, which is either 12 or 6. And interestingly enough, the tiebreaker is fewest enemy pieces. So they are going to move from here to here. So that place is not safe necessarily. Okay, leaving 2 behind, because again, there's 2 cards. And next up, we will battle. So there are no bunny battles. There's only going to be a wild battle. And the place that this battle is going to take place is going to be lowest priority, which would be 12, right here. So again, they could have battled here, they could have battled here, but they are going to battle here because no roost, There's no defenseless buildings at all, so lowest priority. So now they don't get an extra hit this time because this column does not have more cards. So it's just going to be this, and it is 1-0. So that's great for us. All right. We're holding strong here. Okay. That concludes their turn. So they will now build a roost. And they can build a roost. They can build a roost here. Oh, they can build a roost here as well. Because the Eyrie rules over ties. So they're eligible in both 7 and 12. And the location that they're going to do it is highest priority. So that roost is going to go here. And that gets them 2 points. And concludes their turn. All right. So for our turn, we're going to deploy our wood. We're going to not be able to craft this because we only have a single workshop and it's in a bunny territory, not a mouse territory. So for our 3 actions, and we have no more wilds, we're going to look to see if we can prevent them from ruling here or here, because I believe in doing so, that should put them into turmoil. They won't be able to build a roost. So to do that, we're going to do a recruit. We're going to do a march. So now we rule here. And we rule here. We have one more march. What I'm tempted to do is send down some reinforcements here. And now we have one more action. And the question is whether we do a build to get some points or we do a battle to try to thin them out further. I think let's go ahead and do let's do a build. Yeah, let's do a build. Might regret it, but we will spend 1 wood to build a workshop in a mouse territory, which we have only 1 of. Okay, so that gets us 2 points. And we will now draw 2 cards. Bunny, fox. And we're at our hand limit of 5, which is fine. And that will conclude this turn. So now for the Eyrie, they're going to draw a fox, which has a crafting item on it. So to do this, basically we just make sure that the item exists up here, and it does, and they craft it for absolute free for 1 point. So even though it says 3 points here, you disregard that. So you load it in here and give them 1 point. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through their decree and see what they're going to be able to do. So the first thing is recruiting in a fox, which we've prevented them so far from putting a roost out, so they won't be able to do that. Next is recruiting in a bunny. This is their only bunny eligible, so they get 2. And next is recruiting in a wild, and the tie is most enemy pieces, which is back to here. Oh, nope, there's a tie here between the 2. So the next is fewest Eyrie warriors. So they're actually going to put 2 here. Okay. Next, we're going to do our movements. So they're going to move from a fox. There's 2 foxes that they may move from. So the way that we're going to determine the tie is most Eyrie warriors, and they're going to move to a clearing without a roost. So this is the most warriors, and they're going to move to either 10, 9, or 4. And the way that we'll break the tie is by fewest enemy pieces. So they're going to move down to here, and they're going to move 2 guys. So they're going to try to build a roost here, most likely. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Do they rule this? They don't. So, no, they can't move out of here. That is very interesting. Yeah, they can't move out of there. So, and they actually can't move out of here. So that's great. We've prevented them from moving out of fox. So next they're going to move out of bunny, and that's going to be here. And they're going to move up to here because there's no roost. 2 pieces. Okay? Leaving 2 because there's 2 cards. And finally, they're going to move this wild. The place that has the most, now this time, they do rule here. And it because they roll ties. And it does have the most. So they're going to move from 6 to either 2 or 11. Nope, this has a roost. So they're just going to move up to here, up to 2. And they're going to leave. Oh, so they want to rule. So they're actually not going to leave because they want to leave enough pieces behind to rule. And so they can't move any pieces for that matter. So they're not moving at all. So we're going to move on to battling. They have 2 fox battles at 12 and 6. And the way that we'll decide the tie is lowest priority, which is 12. So here we go. This does not have the most cards. Actually, nothing has the most cards, so it's just the straight dice roll. 3 to 2. Whew. 3 casualties on our end, 2 on theirs. So they still rule. They are going to be able to build, unfortunately. Because of that, they're going to be able to build their roost here. All right, so the next battle is going to be bunny. There isn't any bunny battles that are eligible. So finally, a wild. And the only wild, actually there's 2. Actually, there's 4. So they can battle in 6, 7, 11, or 12. And so the first place they're going to look to battle is no roost. So that rules out 11 and 7. So we're back to 6 and 12. And the way that lowest priority, so 12. So they're going to try to finish this off here. Ooh, wow. I was not expecting that. I think they both go away. Let me consult the rules real quick. Wow. So, yeah, they actually both get destroyed. And because of that, they actually don't have a place to build their roost anymore. Because these spots are taken. So they can't build their roost here. And so basically, because they got greedy and did that battle, they now have to go into Turmoil. So that's unfortunate for them. So now for Turmoil, basically they lose a victory point per bird, including these 2 wild birds. So they're going to lose 5 points. So that puts them down to 0. And we get rid of these 3 cards. and then they go right to evening phase, which basically gets them 2 more points. So in the end of the day, they lost 2 points. But they also wiped out their decree, which is actually huge because now they're starting from scratch, and they're definitely going to be on the defensive here for this next turn. So that strategy seemed to work. We spread them thin, and we started to attack them on multiple fronts, and had better success this time so far than we ever have in the past. Granted, we only have 6 points ourselves, but let's see how this goes. So I'm going to go ahead and put out 2 wood. I would like to craft, and we can now. So we built this here. So I am going to craft this tea kettle for 2 points. And that gets us 2 points. Okay. Next up, we get 3 actions. We don't have any wilds, so we're only going to take 3 actions. And I think what we'll do is we're going to recruit, build, and battle. Well, we may not build. I definitely want to take 12 back because I don't want them to just walk in and get an easy roost. So let's recruit. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to recruit, we're going to march, and we're going to build. We won't battle here. We'll let the Eyrie fight us, potentially. Yeah. Let's build another recruiting station up here, just in case they try to get greedy and come up. So that's going to cost 3 wood and get us 3 points. All right. So that concludes our turn. We will draw 2 cards. One is a fox with no item, and the other is a mouse with no item. So I do have to discard. I will discard this bunny, and we're back down to 5 cards. Okay, their turn. They are drawing a fox that does not have a craftable item loaded into their decree, and here they go. So first they're going to recruit into a fox with a roost, which unfortunately they have none of. So next they're going to recruit into a wild, and the destination is going to be most enemy pieces, which will be here. Oh, nope, there's a tie between 7 and 11. So the second tiebreaker is fewest Eyrie warriors, so they're actually going to recruit here. All right. Next, we're going to move from a fox. So, because we recruited here, they don't rule that. So I don't think they can move. No. Wait, 5. No, they can't. So they want to move here, but we prevented them by recruiting. So the next up is they're going to move from their wild location, and that's going to be most Eyrie warriors, which is a tie now between 11 and 6. So the second tiebreaker is highest priority. Well, that they rule. So no, it comes down to this because they don't rule here. So this isn't even an option. It's this one. And they're going to move to a clearing with no roost, which is going to try to bring them back to 12. And they're going to leave 2 pieces behind. All right. So now we battle. And they have, again, 2 foxes to battle in, 6 and 12. And I think they're going to battle in 12 because we have more pieces here. We have 5 pieces. Here are only 4 pieces. So here we go. And now this is the battle for this fox. So they don't get the bonus. They don't get the hit bonus. 2-0. All right. Now we're going to battle for the wild. And the way we'll determine, because there's 4 potentials here. So first is no roost. So it's either 12 or 6. And it's going to come down to lowest priority, which again is 12. So they may run into that same circumstance here. Oh, but this time they get the extra hit, unfortunately. So, yep, they took us out. All right, so that time it worked out well for them. They're going to get to build. They're roost in 12. We couldn't hold it, and that gets them 3 points. Wow, close game so far. Okay. It is our turn. We will deploy some wood. Now we need to start to expand here. Otherwise, we're going to run out of opportunities to build. So I am going to build a sawmill here for 2 wood. And that gets us 2 points. And now I'm going to recruit. I missed one. Oh, up here. Okay. This is a problem. Because they're going to start recruiting into here now and coming down to here. So how you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to backtrack just slightly. I hate to do this usually, but they just took out 2 of our warriors here. I'm going to discard our fox card and use our field hospital to bring those 2 warriors back there instead. So slight change. And now, so we've built already, we've recruited and built, and now I think we need to march. So I'm going to do that. March down to there. Yep. Okay. That concludes our turn. So we didn't get any battling done, but I'm feeling okay about this. Let's draw our 2 cards. We got a wild, which is nice, and another wild. So we will be discarding a bunny and a mouse. No, another bunny. Okay. Oh, no, we don't need to discard both those. Okay, perfect. It is their turn. They are drawing a wild. That's not great. All right. Their decree. First, they're going to recruit in a fox. They get 1 there. No. Yes. They get 1 there. They're going to recruit in a wild. And that wild is going to be most enemy pieces, which is a tie between 7 and 11, and then fewest warriors. So right there, they're going to add 3 more warriors. All right. Next, they're going to move from a fox. And the eligible territories are, once again, they don't rule here. So that's That's great for us. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so they don't rule here. So they're going to move from here to either 4 or 9. And the tiebreaker is going to be fewest enemy pieces, in which case they're going to come down here to 9, and that's or 4. And that's why we moved, that's why we marched that last turn. So they're going to move 1, 2 guys and leave 1 behind. And now they're going to move their wild, and it's going to be most warriors. It's going to be here. Yeah, that's interesting. So there is nowhere adjacent that doesn't have a roost. So it actually talks about that. Move to an adjacent clearing with no roost. If all of them have a roost, move to one with the fewest enemy pieces, which I would say would be 12. So they're going to move out of here into here, and they're leaving behind 3 pieces. Okay. Next up, they're going to battle in a fox. There are no... Yes, there is. So they're going to battle here now. Hopefully we can do some damage. Nice. So they do take out 3 of ours, but we take out 2 of theirs. So we actually still rule, which is great. And then they're going to battle in a wild. And so the opportunity here is 6, 7, 4, or 11. First up is no roost. So that's 6 or 4. And the tiebreaker is going to be lowest priority, which in this case is 6. So they're actually going to try to battle here. And I don't think they're going to win it. They do get the extra hit. That's unfortunate. We need a low dice roll here. Oh, man. Oh. Terrible. So they take us out completely. The extra hit is not limited to the number of warriors. So they actually take out our recruiting station. They get a point for that. And they get to build a roost there. Wow. I thought we might have had them. All right. That gets them 4 more points. And they are hot on our tails once again. Okay. Our turn. We're going to deploy 2 wood. And let's evaluate crafting opportunities. So we only have 2 workshops. One is in a bunny and one is in a mouse. So the only thing we could potentially craft is this. And that does us absolutely no good. So we won't be doing that. What I am tempted to do is spend both of our wilds and get 2 extra actions, because I think this is going to be a pivotal turn here, where everything is going to rely on what we do here. So we're going to have 5 actions. The first thing I'm going to do is build while we still can. Takes 3 wood, though. All right. Yep, I'm going to discard a fox card to overwork and put this wood here. That's our first action. Second action is to build a recruiting station here for 3 wood. That gets us 3 points. Next, we're going to recruit. All right, so we overworked, we built, we recruited, and now we have 2 more actions. I am going to march. I'm going to march here. And this guy's doing nothing this whole game. So I'm going to get him out of there and put him here as well. So that's our march. And now we're going to battle. And the question is whether we battle in 4 or we battle in 6. We know they're going to move out of a fox next turn. So they're going to come and load up here. And they're also going to come and load up there. Well, or, I guess. The question is going to be which one are they going to do? So let's look. Their move is going to be fewest enemy pieces. So they're going to move from here to here. So for that reason, I'm going to battle here. And let's hope we can roll a 3. Oh, wow. 0-0. That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Wasted battle. All right. That concludes our turn. We will draw 2 cards. We get a fox with a craft that we actually can craft, so we might want to. And we get a bunny with a craft that we can't. Okay. His turn. He draws a mouse with a sword. Gets him a point. All right. So first things first, he's going to recruit 1 new bird into a fox. And that fox is going to go into the clearing with the most enemy pieces, which is here. Next, he's going to recruit into a mouse, which is here, most enemy pieces. He could recruit here as well, but this is the one with the most enemy pieces. Next, he's going to recruit 3, his last 3 birds, into a clearing that he rules with the most Eyrie warriors. This one. Good thing he does not have... Oh. Yikes. All right. Well, they're coming for you. All right. So now we're going to move from a fox. So he now rules 6. So there are 2 possibilities for where he's going to move from, and that's 6 or 12. And we already decided, unless something changed, let's just go through it again. So with no roost, so that's 2 or 4. And the tiebreakers are fewest enemy pieces. So that's here, 3 pieces. Still applies. He's going to leave. Oh. He's going to leave. He's only taking 1 because he wants to still rule 6. So he's not going to take everyone. Next, he's going to move from a mouse. And unfortunately, I have a bad feeling. Yep. He's going to move from here to here. And he's taken a lot of pieces. So he is going to be able to build his roost, most likely. Oof. Oh, no. He's catching up. All right. Man, this guy's aggressive. Okay. Next, he's going to move from a wild. And that's going to be the most... Well, what is the whole thing? From a matching clearing, they rule with the most Eyrie warriors. So that's interesting. He is going to move from 8 on to 4. He really wants to finish us here in 4. So that's fine. He's going to leave behind 3 to do his battle bidding. All right. we're going to battle in a fox. Our eligible fox battles are 8 or 6. Yep. And it is no roost. Oh, so it's 8. Okay. Here it is. All right. He gets better rolls than us. So he takes out, we take out one of his. Unfortunately, he takes out both of ours. Our cardboard, our wood mill, and our piece. That gets him a point. Next, he's going to battle in a mouse, which is just here. No, could also be there. Interesting. So it's yeah. Okay, so it's lowest priority, which would be 7. Oh, well. All right. So, interesting. All right. Next, he's going to battle in this wild location, and that's going to be determined by no roost, so either 4 or 2. 4 or 2, and lowest priority. So 4. He's going to fight here. Again, this has the most cards, so he is going to get an extra hit. 3 to 3. Wow. So we take out 3 of his. He takes out 3 of ours, but he gets the extra hit. Shoot. All right. And he gets to build a roost. So we actually almost put him in turmoil once again, but he is going to build this roost and take 5 points as a result. For the lead. Yikes. All right. Let me just make sure that that's where he would build it. Yeah, that's the only place he can build it. Wow. That ended up being very lucky for him. It is our turn. Placing wood. Let's go ahead and do a recruit. Which is cool. And I am tempted to do a double battle here. And I am going to do that. So the first place I'm going to battle is here, here, here. Yep, right here. Oh, man. 3 to 3. What are these rolls? All right, well, luckily we cleared him out. And we took out his roost. And that gets us a point, which ties us back up. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to build that roost again quite easily. So the question becomes whether we... Oh, man. Do we march into 6? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. He could build a roost there, potentially, in 4. Let's just try it. So I'm going to go ahead and march. 1, 2. Let's see what that does. So that concludes our turn. I will draw 2 cards, a bunny and a mouse, and we'll discard this bunny ambush. And now it is their turn. All right, they're drawing a fox with a craftable sword. Shoot. That gets them a point. All right, here we go. 2 new birds and a fox. Could be 8, could be 12, and it's going to be 8. Fewest warriors. 1 new recruit and a mouse. And that's going to be here. Fewest warriors. 3 new recruits in a wild. And most enemy pieces. So they don't have a roost here. No, there's no places. That's great. Where they're going to put that. So it's going to be fewest warriors. So they're going to go right here. All right. This is feeling like it may be working out for us. I'm worried about the move phase. Let's see what happens. So first off, they're going to move from a fox and so they have to rule it. So that's 12. That's only 12. They're moving from 12 to 4. But they're only moving 1 guy. So that seems positive. Yep, I like it. Next, they're moving from a mouse. So that's going to be 7 or 11. There's roosts. No, it's going to be 11 back to 6 because they want to build a roost, rebuild the roost here. So they're going to move 2 guys here. That's concerning. And next, they're going to move this wild. And it's most Eyrie warriors. It's here to here. All right, but they're leaving 3. All right, this looks bad. Oh, but they don't have a battle here, but they might use this battle. Let's find out. So first is a battle on the foxes, right here. Nice. We held them. All right. Next is a battle in the mice, right here. We held them. And finally is a battle in a wild with an extra hit. Oh, it doesn't matter. We didn't hold them here because they rule ties. So they're going to be able to put their roost back here, unfortunately. Okay, so they are going to battle in a wild, and it's going to be lowest priority. Oh, you know what? They're going to run into that scenario again where they're going to battle here, and if we roll a 1, that's going to put them into turmoil. That I feel like that might be a mistake in this AI, or at least I feel like they should definitely choose this battle, but I guess there's no guarantee that they're going to take that out. So let's just battle here. Oh, they get the extra hit. Well, no, that doesn't matter. Here we go. Oh, man. Wow. So they took us out, and we got no hits in exchange. So they are going to be able to build their roost here, and that gets them 5 points. Unbelievable. Wow. All right. So now it's our turn. Our only choice here is to get them into turmoil. Otherwise, I think they're going to win. But we need to get them subtracting some points. So my plan is to put out some wood. Next, we will craft this bunny item, this boot, for a point. And then we will recruit and now we will march. So that's 1 march, 2 march, and now we will battle. And we're going to battle in 4. Oh, man, our dice rolls are really hurting us. Okay. That's the best we could do. Evening, a bunny, and a rabbit. I'm sorry, a mouse. And we will discard this. All right. Their turn. They're drawing. Ooh. No crafting, but it is a bunny. And that's going to help their decree because now they have all 4 options and they're going to be able to battle here. All right, let's see how it plays out. So, no matter what, they won't win this. Oh, I guess they can if they take out an item or they take out a building. Interesting. So first we're going to recruit 2 in a fox. And that's between 8, 12, or 6. And it's going to go into fewest warriors. Next, we're going to recruit into a mouse, and this is their last bird, so they aren't going to recruit after this. And it's going to go here. So now we get on to moving. Moving from a fox. And all foxes are options. They're going to move into a territory that has no roost. So that's either 2 or 4. And the tiebreaker is going to be fewest enemy pieces. So we have 5 pieces here and 5 pieces there. So then we fall down to lowest priority, which is here. They only move 1 piece because they have 2 foxes. So, all right, now they're moving from a mouse, which would be here. And no. Well, they're both eligible, I guess. It's gonna be this one, most Eyrie warriors, and over to lowest priority. So they're working their way over to fight this, which makes sense. Now they're moving from a bunny. And that's interesting. Are they going to move from this bunny? They are. They're going to leave here. Do they rule here? They don't rule. So they're not going to leave here. They're going to leave here. And they're going to go here. Okay. And now finally they're going to move from a wild. And that's going to be here. And they're going to move 2 guys here. Okay. Now the battles are going to happen. 1 in a fox. There is no fox territories with conflicts. 1 in a mouse. That's going to be here. We should be able to take them. So they get 1 and 1. So we kicked them out of there, thankfully. Now they're going to battle in a bunny, which is here. This is going to be painful because they're going to battle twice here in a row. One's for the bunny and one's for the wild. Here we go. Oh, wow. Double zeros. This one is what matters because they're going to get the extra hit. 2. So they get 3, but they don't get to build a roost. So we actually did it. They cannot build a roost, so they're going to go into turmoil. And because of that, they lose 7 points. Oh, yes. All right, so they're coming back 7 points. Nice. All right. This is excellent. So then they go right to evening, but they gain 5 points. All right. Interesting. Okay, it is now our turn. All right, so for our turn, I think, obviously, we're first going to put some wood out. And then I think our priority is going to be to try to build as much as we can here to get some points. So there's only one eligible spot to build in 5, so we will do that. Let me see if we can craft. Yeah. All right, so we will craft this satchel for a point. And then we're going to build a recruiting station for 3 wood here. And that gets us 3 points for the lead once again. And now we have 2 more actions. I would like to try and kick him out of... No, we should recruit. We need some people on the map here. All right, so hopefully that will slow him down. And then for our last action, so there's really nowhere else to build. All right, fair enough. We can't... It's really going to come down to what card he draws here. I'm tempted to just leave it as is. I'm worried about here. He's going to get 5 to 6 points next turn. Wow. Let's go ahead and just leave it as is. We're going to leave our action on the table. As crazy as that sounds. I don't want to move out of 10 or 9. And I don't want to move... I want to keep him busy here. I don't know where... See, the problem is I don't know where he's going to draw. So I don't know what he's going to do. I'm just going to leave it as is. It's a risk. Here we go. Evening phase. We draw 2 cards. We got a wild and a mouse. So we'll discard this mouse. And now it's their turn. We would have to, just to do some math, 22, we'd have to build 3 times. Well, this fourth recruiting station is worth 4 points. All right, let's see what they do. He draws a mouse, which I actually think is his least opportunistic clearing. So that did not have an item to craft on it. So here we go. We're first going to recruit in a mouse. He only has one left. So a mouse recruitment is going to be a tie between here and here. Fewest warriors is a tie. So it's going to just be lowest priority, which is here. Now he's going to recruit. He doesn't have any more to recruit here. So he's going to move out of a mouse. It's going to be out of 11 into 12. Now he's going to move out of 4. Does he rule here? He does rule here. He's going to move out of here into here, which is not a wise decision for him, but that's what he's going to do. Yep, and he's going to only leave 2 behind. No, he wants to rule, so he's going to leave 3 behind. Okay? Now he's going to battle in a mouse. Ooh, he did pick up this mouse battle. That's okay. He's not going to be able to take us out. 1. He only did 1 damage. And here he's going to battle. Well, we don't know that. Lowest priority. No, he's going to battle again here. Wow. Okay, but he does get an extra hit, so that's going to hurt. Oh, yeah. So he takes out 2 of ours, and we held in there. All right, and even more importantly, he goes into turmoil once again. He can't build his roost, so he loses 3 points. But he gets 5 points. Wow. Wow. Okay, we need to start taking out these roosts. All right, it is our turn. We're going to put out some wood. You know what? He only took out 2 guys, but I am going to resurrect them at the field hospital by discarding this mouse. And so now we need to expand, otherwise we're not going to be able to get points. We need to push him out of somewhere in order to build. And I think that place is going to be 12. Yep. All right, so we're going to do a double move. Man, this is risky. We're going to do a double move. 1, 2. So that's just a march. Sorry, a single march is what we're going to do. And now we're going to battle. Yes. 3 to 1. And I'm going to battle again. Yeah, 2 to nothing. So we got a point for taking out his roost. Ties it up at 23. and we won back 12. Now, he may be able to get it back from us, but at least we now have the opportunity. I wish... Oh, I do! I have a wild card. We just drew it. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to build for 4 wood a recruiting station. 4 wood. And that gets us 4 points. Wow, this is a close game. Okay. That concludes our turn. We're going to draw 2 cards. We got a fox with no item to craft and a bunny with an item to craft. All right. Oh, we actually get a 3rd card because we just did that. It's another. We'll discard that one, actually. Okay. It is their turn. He draws a bunny. It does have an item to craft, a boot, and there is a boot. So he gets a point for that. Oh, no. Wow, this is going to be close. All right. So now for his decree, he's recruiting 1 into a bunny, and his only bunny option is here. He's recruiting 2 for his wild into most enemy pieces. No. Fewest Eyrie warriors. 11. Now he's moving from a bunny. It'll be to highest priority. Oh, wait a minute. Does he rule here? He does rule here. So he's moving. He's leaving 4, and he's going all in on 9, which is smart. There's only one warrior there. That's interesting. Okay. And now for his random movement, his wild movement, most warriors. Oh no. Huh. I did not see that coming. He is going to, let me just confirm this. Yep. He's going to be able to walk right into 1. That was not smart on my part. All right. So he's going to, well, he wants to rule here. Hold on. 3. Yeah, he's going to take 2 guys right to there. That's unfortunate. All right, so now his bunny battle is going to take place here. He takes out one of ours, but we take out him. So we get 4 back. But unfortunately, his wild battle is going to be here, and this actually might win him the game. Our silly oversight of moving everyone down to 12 might have just lost us the game. Let's make sure. So, battle in a wild clearing. No roost. Most defenseless buildings. And that's here. Plus he gets an extra hit. So he's taken out 3 buildings, 3 cardboard to get to get 3 points. But more importantly, he's now able to build a roost, and that gets him 5 points for the win. Wow. So close. That was definitely the best game I've had against the Electric Eyrie. Obviously, my own strategy and tactical moves there is what's lost us the game. I feel like if we would have left a couple of these guys behind, that would have made a huge difference. But I honestly didn't think he was going to move 2 spaces up to 1. So that was very clever. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and learned the new rules in terms of how the Electric Eyrie work. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and give us a like, and we'll catch you next time.